Hi, everyone. We're just going to take another moment and wait for people to join. Good to have you guys online.
Great to see everybody. I see Barbara. I see a couple of Barbaras. I see Karen, Ben, Caroline, Karen. Would love to hear, what do you do and what are you most excited about in the comment section right now, in the chat area? Tell us what you do and what you're most excited about right now, because we can all talk about sorrows and stuff like that, like challenges, but you know, there's opportunity. Wouldn't you agree, Rachel? There's opportunity in the challenges.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here to talk about today. In fact, we actually have a poll question that we can start with to maybe get the conversation going. I'm going to go ahead and launch that right now. So we want to hear from you guys. How is your business doing these days? Is it business as usual? Have you moved to doing some of the stuff online? Is that something you maybe want to do but not really sure how? Or do you come from a business where that's not really possible? Let's launch the poll and see what you guys have to say.
Those are good questions.
Well, I see a lot of folks that are already doing stuff online. That's fantastic. Those are some fast responders out there.
I love to hear from Barbara, who says, I'm a futurist and most excited about getting my business online. Barbara, two of my good friends, Brian Fanzo and Joel Kalm, are futurists, and I love what you're doing. Barbara is saying, I'm in coaching and training. Christina is most excited about taking her business online. Randy is a psychologist. Great to have you on here, Randy. Lots of great comments coming in the chat area. I hope that we hear a lot from you during the course of this presentation.
Absolutely. Guys, this is an open discussion. You know, we're here to share our knowledge and best practices, and we would absolutely love for you guys to share some of your knowledge, give us some tips that you think we should broadcast as well. We're basically going to be monitoring this chat window throughout the entire webinar. So if you have any kind of question or comment, please feel free to post it either in the chat or in the questions and answers. We've actually set some time at the end of this webinar to go over your great questions. I think a big part of learning is actually just asking the right questions. When I was a kid, you know, my mom never asked me, what did you learn today? She always used to say, what good questions did you ask today? So
That's
learning
good.
is really all about questions. So let's get those questions going too.
You know, it's a hard thing too, isn't it? You know, when you want to ask questions, but you don't necessarily want to show your weakness, you know, to the public, to the community. And that's something we've all dealt with before. I'm looking in the chat area to seeing who's here. And it looks like a lot of leaders are here, business leaders. And we're used to people asking us questions. And so it can be tough sometimes to raise your hand and to say, hey, you know, like, I just don't know how my webcam works. And that's okay. You know, I had problems with my webcam this morning, guys.
That sounds like me.
But it doesn't go away. It just gets easier and easier and easier. And you get to a place of proficiency where you know where to push all the buttons and where to go for all those kinds of things. You know, my wife, Rachel, I don't know if you knew this, my wife was a teacher for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in the school, teaching high school English. And we brought her home because it made more sense for her to build the business with us than to be at home or to be at work. And she was really scared of being online. She is now managing a group of clients on a Zoom call in the next room while my kids.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, she is a teacher and you are in the business of teaching. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty natural next step.
And she didn't know tech or video at all, you know, but once she learned it, now she's in a place where she doesn't even need me. She knows how to troubleshoot and, oh, the cam's not working. I just need to press this or press that and it will work every time and things like this. And we're getting a great question in from Karima, who is asking the question that we are going to answer today. So I'm ready to begin. I hope you guys are pumped.
All righty. So that's great. On that note, let's get started with our program for today. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I am Rachel Shapiro from Bicida. I am the product marketing manager. And we are super excited to be here today. We really appreciate you guys taking the time and joining us. What today is a workshop. We're going to talk about how you can take your business online. We know many of you are going through some really uneasy times. Everyone is. We're really all in the same boat here. I've been working from my home office for over a week now. Visita's been moved over to work from home mode just about a week ago. A lot of people ask me about these records here behind me. They think, I put some sort of fancy, studio up in my house. I really didn't. This is actually our home office. We've had these up for ages. When we were doing the decoration, my husband, he's a bit of a, I don't know, Pinterest freak or something. He saw this on Pinterest. He's like, we're going to have our records wall. I was like, I don't think so. He's like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I was like, oh. And here it is, guys, I guess silver lining, I might be working from home and, taking care of 2 kids while I'm doing it, but at least I have my records here behind me. It's a good icebreaker too, to kind of get the conversation starting. So that's enough about me. We're here to talk about you guys, your businesses, some of the challenges you may be facing, how we can together overcome those challenges. Here with us today is Owen, who probably many of you already know. Owen is an online guru. He is, and we're going to get to his bio slide in a second and embarrass him a little bit. But just before we do that, I want to go to the next slide and talk a little bit more about what we're going to cover today. So if we can take a look at that next slide with today's agenda, we're going to see that we're going to start the discussion with why go online. Obviously, nowadays, some of us can't really, it's not really up to us. We kind of have to do it. We have to move our services online, but there are additional benefits. It's not only about, oh, maybe this is something I'm just doing, for a couple of weeks. There are benefits for going online, delivering your services online. We're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about building your own really sleek, professional looking video conference studio at home, maybe with some records, maybe without. We'll leave that up to you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about setting up your online services, so what that means, technically, which buttons you have to click. Can you do it with Visita? Can you do it with Zoom? We're going to get to that later. Then we're going to talk a little bit about something very important, that is, you might be ready to share your services. You might have it all planned out, records on the wall at all, but your customers don't know that you're actually open for business online. So we're going to talk about how you can communicate that powerful message to them. And of course, as promised, we'll leave some time for your great questions and answers. So now we're going to go back to that part about embarrassing Owen. That's the next slide. So Owen, as I mentioned, is an online guru. He is an expert on all things video. I know I've been following him for the longest time. We've been talking about doing something together for a really long time. I actually, during the time that we've had this conversation, Owen, I think I've actually had a baby, went on maternity leave, came back to the office, and here we are having our webinar finally during the world outbreak.
I love it.
So as I mentioned, Owen is a super interesting guy to follow. If you aren't following him yet, I highly, highly recommend to check him out, especially on YouTube. That's where he posts a lot of his great content. He can probably talk, a little bit more about what he does. And before I let him say a few words about himself, I'm just going to add and say that Owen has been a longtime user of Visita. I think he's been using Visita since 2015.
Yeah.
And what I love about how Owen uses Visita is that it is so non-textbook. So if you call, if Owen has a conversation with one of our customer success managers, they'd be like, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because he's really set up a very, very unique way of working with Visita, and we love it. We're all over it, and that's exactly what he's going to share with you guys today. So I'm going to hand it over to Owen. You can start by telling us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and then let's get down to business.
Thank you, Rachel. So glad to be here with the audience today. We hit 100 attendees on this so super fast, and that means that this is the type of strategy going virtual that people are looking for right now. And I want to help you guys stay on top today. First, Rachel, are we recording? Can you make sure that we're recording on your end?
Let's make sure that we are. Yes, we are recording.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and paste a link in the chat area right now where all of you can go and get my live streaming gear guide and setup manual for free. You go to my website, click on live streaming guides. This is a guide that we put together the day after quarantine hit in the United States. So it's a little raw, okay? But everything you need is there, and it's going to reinforce our message for today, including what webcams to get and some of the things that are just, they get really granular, a lot of questions. So I want you guys to all know that's there for you. The next thing is I want to share with you a little bit about who I am. I help thought leaders launch channels on YouTube. So the video in the virtual space has been a part of my DNA for a long time. When I started my career, I was a videographer with big dreams and a cheap Best Buy camera in my hand. And I went knocking on doors in San Diego and I said, I'll do a video for you. I'll do a video for you. And from there, you know, I became a video influencer. I became one of the people that was teaching how to do video, and that led into live streaming. When I started with live streaming, we had tons of equipment and we were, you know, carrying cables around, a 3-man crew, and cables that they don't even sell anymore at the stores. I got boxes of this stuff, you know. It's so much easier now. And I want you all to be in a position where you're prepared to take your business online. See, my wife and I, we were prepared for this. When quarantine happened like 10 days ago, when this shift came, the San Diego News called me 4 times to come on the air and to show people how to be virtual and thriving. And the big shift that we made wasn't even technical. It wasn't even anything that you can't do. In fact, the big shift that we made, my wife and I, when all of this happened, was exactly what I want all of you to do right now. And that's to make the decision to take your business into the virtual space. Right? No more straddling the, should I do this or should I not do this? Is everything going to go back to the way that it was, right? My wife and I made the decision as soon as this thing happened to move into the new marketplace really powerfully, you know, and we got hit like all of you guys got hit, right? We already worked from home, but our kids go to school, right? We weren't like locked in together 24/7. And so, you know, the first couple of days of the whole quarantine thing for us was a lot of fun. It was like camping at home, right? Oh, we're cuddling on the couch. Oh, I can cut out early today. But by the time the weekend came, we broke. Like, we were kind of like, this is stressful. Like, we're trying to do client calls and my kids got peanut butter fingers like coming up, you know, on me right over here. We were stressed out. Okay. But what we did was we made the decision that we weren't going to try and go back to the way things were. We recognized that this whole thing is going to last a couple more weeks, if not a couple more months. And the shift to virtual is going to be real. The cat's out of the bag. Therapists, massage therapists, physical fitness trainers, business coaches, we need to make the shift to digital now. I don't want you to be in a place where you're like, well, maybe I'll do this, but let's just see what happens first. Okay, that person's gonna get eaten up by the marketplace. I want you to go, look, we're gonna go virtual. We're gonna go virtual now. I want you to be the first in your marketplace to really master this and show your leadership, show your adaptability to the changing tides of the marketplace. And we're going to get into that today. And we're going to start by first showing you how to set up your home office scenario. Now, the home office scenario is going to apply to your home or your office, wherever you are. You want to set up a scenario where you're ready to go virtual, where you're ready to go live, where you're ready to be on video. And then we're going to show you how to translate that into links and URLs using Visita, so that your customers can easily join you online. And they know exactly what to do. And they're not worried about where you're going. So that's what we're going to cover today. And I think you're going to learn a ton. I'm getting a call to maximize my screen. Rachel, can you see everything okay? Like, hopefully you can see the big slide. I'm changing slides right here.
Yeah, we can see your slide. We can see like the top piece of your browser too. Maybe that's what they're referring to.
Good. So you guys are seeing all of my you know. And I'll say that's the first rule, is make sure all of your inappropriate Google plugins are turned off, right? In case you've got any of those, right?
Yeah.
if you have questions, folks, ask them in the comment area or in the Q&A area. We're going to have a chance to go through all of those. We're going to cover this pretty quickly, but as I understand, I think that we're going to give you guys access to this PowerPoint once it's all said and done. So
absolutely. It'll be in your inbox tomorrow.
yeah. For those of you that are thinking, oh my gosh, you know, like I represent all these clients or I'm not sure what to do next, this webinar is the starting point. So I'm really pumped that Visita is actually taking the lead in doing this. Okay. So let's talk about your home space studio. You need to create a video creation station in your home. This is a place where you can sit down and be ready to go live. Now, I'm actually in my home right now. I am in a room that I've converted into a studio. I don't think you need to do that, okay? I think what you need to do is find a quiet place in your home that will be your workspace. The corner of an office is great. If you can set up in front of a window so that you're looking out the window, that's a great place for you to be as well, because when you put your webcam up, all that natural light hits you and makes you look really bright and fun on camera. So the first thing that you want to do is find where this virtual workspace is going to be. So you want to find, you know, we say a quiet room. I've got 4 kids, including a teenager. There is no quiet room in our house. There are, however, quiet times, and that's when mom or dad is on a business call. And so you want to find a place that I think makes you look really solid on video, doesn't reveal too much of your home. Okay, you certainly don't want to be in a place where, you know, you can see, you know, an open back door and a toddler, you know, a diaperless toddler kind of come out of the bathroom while you're on a business call, right? You need to think about where your office is going to be so that behind you is as controlled as possible, right? Being in an office space with a closed door is great. And I want to encourage you to really think about what's behind you, right? Can you put a bookshelf behind you, or is there a bookshelf behind you, and does it really need, should it be dusted off maybe a little bit? Okay. For those of you with like an eye for design, and decorating things, I just got a new chair and it shrinks me if I touch it the wrong way. You know, this is a chance for you to design a neat little wall in the back of your house and make it look really, really nice. It doesn't have to be too complex, guys. It should just look non-distracting, okay? That's what I want to encourage you to find a place and set up your laptop there. Your laptop can come and go, but you want to be in a place where like you're set up and things really don't move. So when you're on the couch in your PJs and you get a video call, you can scurry into the back office, sit in that place, turn on the lights, and you're ready to stream. Are you guys with me on that? If you're with me, type yes in the chat area. Okay, I really want to know that you're following with me. I'm hearing
just a side note on the
good.
Side note on the PJs. I have these morning calls with my boss, and you know, I figured, you know, we're all at home, you know, I'll come on the call with my coffee, and I don't really have to get dressed or whatever. Sure enough, my boss this morning, while she was talking to me, she stopped mid-sentence. She was like, Rachel, you're wearing your pajamas, and they're the pajamas you were wearing yesterday too. Like, oh my God, like. Iris, if you're listening, fashion police.
Yeah, my bad. You know, yeah, Martin is saying always wear a nice shirt. Pants are optional. Okay, so let's continue on with the setup here. Dress to impress. You know, I keep a couple of shirts on a hanger right next to my station here, so I can always pop on a shirt that's branded. You know, I've got my microphone, and I've got a little branded thing for my microphone. So let's talk about that setup or I've got the setup on the next slide, I think. So be conscious of your attire, okay? Even low necklines, the camera may not show all of it. So just be conscious of how you look on camera. Let's go and talk about some of the tech. Now, I put a link in the message area here. I'm gonna put it in there again, where I have like an Amazon shopping list that's like the best and then the most affordable, right? That you can just go and get that shopping list and use. But let me run through the gear that you need right now. So let's assume you all have when I'm saying the message area, by the way, guys, I'm talking about the chat. So actually, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm sorry, guys. I've been posting it in the wrong area. There we go. I believe it's in the chat area now. Okay. So let me know if you can see that. Go ahead and somebody give me a thumbs up or something if you can't to let me know that you're seeing it. Okay. All right, great. So you guys got it. Okay. So here's what you need. You need a third-party webcam. And the reason you need a webcam is because your onboarding camera on your Mac or your PC is simply not good enough. It doesn't adapt to light well. You need to have, you know, a webcam that you can place on top of your camera and give you a more professional, clear look. I recommend the Logitech C920. It's the Logitech C920. Okay, and it's normally $60 right now. I've seen them as high as $100. Get your webcam now. Okay, the prices are just going to go up. All right, so that's your webcam. And as far as a microphone goes, you don't need a microphone. Okay, a microphone will enhance your clarity. And here's a side note. When you can stream from home and you can stream from your home office and do Skype calls and Zoom calls and things, then you're also set up to upload videos on YouTube and Facebook Live. So my recommendation for you is to use this opportunity of going virtual and actually creating a content station in your home. The same station that you're going to use to set up Zoom calls with Visita is the same station you can use to go live on Facebook or create a YouTube channel. So I would recommend investing in the microphone. I would recommend the Audio Technica 2100. It's an ATR 2100. Okay, it's an $80 microphone. Both the microphone and the webcam plug via USB into your computer, okay, and require no third-party software. They just work, all right? Now, in terms of lighting, I would try to set your area up in front of a window. I would not have the window behind you. You guys all know what that looks like. When the light is behind you, you're just going to look like a shadow, okay? So if there is a light behind you, if there is a window behind you, you're probably going to need to get in the habit of shutting the blinds when you go live. And you're going to probably want to get an LED light, a ring light in front of you. Now, a ring light, Google it. They're about $80. So a ring light is a LED light. You buy one, it's going to make you look incredible. It's like a makeup light. They last forever. Bulbs don't blow out. I mean, I still have old lamps with light bulbs in them. And they break, and you got to buy new light bulbs. The new LEDs are affordable. They last forever. Okay. So
and a bunch of folks are asking if you could say the name of that microphone again.
Yeah, it's the Logitech it's in the chat room right now. The the ATR 2100. The Audio Technica 2100. You know, so here's the thing about all this, guys. Be set up and ready to go, and always log in 5 minutes early. I'm going to show you how to build that into your Visita right now so that you can test your audio, because you don't want to spend 10 minutes of your call going like, "Can you hear me? Am I on? Can you hear me? Are we on?" Don't be that person. Okay, get set up and get real proficient with how it works. So now, and what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to keep going through the content, but Zoom is picking up your questions and is going to share them with us. Zoom is giving us your Q&A. I can see questions coming in from Karima, Marin, John, Mava, anonymous attendee, Joseph, Todd. So I see great questions, guys. Ask your questions in the chat area. We can come back and answer them. So what I've just done is I've provided you with a foundation for moving your business online so that your calls can become video calls and your workshops can become video workshops with a seamless transition, okay? What I'm going to show you in this next section needs to be followed pretty closely, okay? I don't want you to innovate on this or experiment with this until you've set it up and run at least one person through the test. That's going to be your sister, your friend, your aunt, your cousin, somebody that'll help you run through this. And here's what I'm going to show you next. Now that you have a video station in your home, here's what I want to show you. Let's say that you're networking in a Facebook group or on LinkedIn, or you're emailing someone that you met at the Chamber of Commerce, and you want to move this person to an appointment. Normally, you just meet them at the coffee shop, okay? But now you've got to meet them virtually. which is so time saving, which is why you won't go back to this. You won't go back to coffee meetings after this. You'll save so much time and make so much more money doing this from home, okay? And you can have your coffee with you. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to move those people over to a video call appointment where you send them a link that will help them book a time on your Visita calendar and meet them on a video call that is safe, secure, private, and easy to operate. You'll be able to share screens, record the call, have a chat area, and even more. This new system will make you cool and competent in the virtual world and will lead to increased appointments. This system I'm going to show you has helped me close hundreds of thousands of dollars in new sales. Just take a look at what my calendar looks like last week. And I have the same schedule today. Only thing different is at the top, there's do Visita webinar at the top of my calendar for today. But all of these meetings, folks, I have these meetings today, and these are all paid meetings. Okay? So when you log into Visita, you're going to have a calendar that's full of paid meetings, and they're all done virtually using the Zoom system that you're all logged into right now. So let's take a look at setting up the video component through a Visita call. So here's what we want to do. On the lower left-hand side of your Visita page, once you log into Visita, you're going to want to click on the settings tab. Okay, that's this tab over here. I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse on there, but you're going to click on, you can see it on the Visita tab. Okay, that's going to open up a menu of options here. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is connect an integration with Zoom. So you're going to click on the integration tab down here. And this is where you connect your Zoom account. In other words, everybody, Visita is announcing a brand new video call integration with their software. And this is available, Rachel, I believe, to all accounts at no additional charge right now. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. The whole integration section is usually reserved to some of the premium plans, so they wouldn't normally be available for everyone. That includes Zoom, but you know, we know what's happening in the world. We know that now more than ever, businesses really need this digital transformation, and for this time, we are giving the Zoom integration with no additional cost to all Visita users.
Yeah, so everyone has this availability in their system right now. You can connect your Zoom account to, if you don't have a Zoom account, you can get one for free. Okay, and here's the good news with Zoom is that they've always had a free pass. You can use the free Zoom. I've been using this for a long time. I've actually been doing this without the integration for a long time. I've been doing it sort of manually. And that's one of those things where Rachel goes, Owen uses this in such creative ways. If you don't have a Zoom account now, you can get one for free, and it will always stay free. I still use a free account. Okay, so all you need is Visita. Visita has everything you need. Okay, so once you connect your Zoom integration, you're now ready to set up an appointment that automatically connects your viewers to a Zoom meeting. So what you're going to do is you're going to end up back in settings here, and now you're going to set up your services so that someone can book a call with you, and it's automatically a video call, and the client knows where to click and how to get it started. Okay, this is so big, is customer confidence and your customer having everything that they need to set up a video call. You don't want your customer going like, how do I do this, right? It should be one click and they can go. And here's the thing, they don't need a Zoom account to do a Zoom call with you. They don't need a Zoom account to do a Zoom call with you, okay? So let me show you how to do that. You're gonna go back to settings and you're gonna click on services, and you're gonna see your services there. Now, how many of you have already set up services in the past? Can I hear from you guys? I'd love to hear from you. I'm actually going to open up my chat one more time. I want to make sure I'm staying really attentive to what's going on in the group. Yes, yes, yes. Excuse me for...
I see someone just wrote that they already integrated. That's real-time action, guys.
Yeah, yeah, this is incredible. Yeah. Okay, so check this out. What we're going to do is we're going to set up some services that will function as calls, and you can get a link to these calls, give it to your people, and they can set up a variety of different video calls with you. Okay, so in Visita, you have the ability to set up what's called a service. Now, I have 3 categories of service in my company. I have time-based services, which is what you're seeing on your screen now, right? I have a 1-hour call. I have a 30-minute call. I encourage you guys, look at this slide and look at what I title my calls, because I'm going to show you some of these cool tricks here, all right? But I have time-based services. I have content production. My content production is when I want to interview somebody on my YouTube channel, or when I want to do a live interview with someone for content, I'll give them a separate link that's only available Wednesdays at 9 a.m., for example, if they're going to be on our show, on our Facebook Live show, right? So the only time they can schedule is during that time. And my schedule fills up with interviews for my podcast. So those are my content production services. And then I have my fulfillment services. And these are for people that have already bought from me, right? So I have a 30-minute call that you see on your screen now that's designed 30 minutes of time to talk with the prospect, someone who's not yet a customer. But I also have a fulfillment 30-minute call that's designed to be a 30-minute fulfillment, it tells me that this person is paid for the call. Okay, so it's a different type of call. What I'm going to show you today is really a time-based appointment strategy where people can click on the link you give them and schedule a 15-minute call with you that gives you 5 minutes prep time and 15 minutes bumper time in case the call goes long and you close the sale. Plus, you can control when they schedule the calls so you're not overwhelmed with free calls, okay? And I'm going to show you the golden boy of my marketing system. But I also want to share with you guys a quick story on how I discovered all this, okay? Is that 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. I have an 8-centimeter or an 8-inch scar on my chest from the surgery, and I went through a long period of chemotherapy. And for anyone who's been through chemotherapy, you know, you just sit in an office and you let the medicine just infiltrate your body. You know, I could only work the first 1 week of the month. And for the rest, the other 3 weeks, I was getting chemo and then recovering from chemo. And so I had to find a way to make that 1 week incredibly productive for me. And it was these Visita calls, it was these 15-minute calls that made the difference. See, I couldn't go do coffee shop meetings, right? I was on my couch. All I could do was put a shirt on. But having these video calls enabled me to do back-to-back-to-back calls with prospects who didn't know going through chemotherapy. At the time, I wasn't really like sharing with everybody, right? Like, oh, I'm going to hire this guy. He's going to die of cancer, right? So I didn't talk about it. Nobody even knew that I was going through this, because when I logged in, they could just see a wall behind me with a motivational poster. I was wearing an Owen video shirt, and they couldn't even see. I was even able to do calls from the chemotherapy room because it was just a plain brown wall behind me. They had no idea where I was. So these calls helped me to double my business during the time of chemotherapy. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching these to you. So you're going to want to set up a series of calls. I've created a 1-hour call for clients and people that have already paid me. I've set up a 30-minute video call, a 15-minute discovery call. That's the big puppy that really blew my business up. And then I have a 25-minute discovery call with Owen Video. And that was a different type of call. That was a call for a high-level customer. A 30-minute virtual call, a 30-minute call for international. Look at that one at the bottom there. How many of you are doing business internationally, right? You can set up a call, a virtual call that has time periods in it, time zones that work for you and for people in Europe. and then another call that works for you and for people in China, right? If you're doing business in China. Now, the title of your service and the description matter a lot because your clients will see them, all right? So what you're going to do is you're going to create a new service, and when you create a new service, you're going to open up into a new page that is going to ask you to fill out a form. Now, I'm not going to run through that whole form with you because it's pretty easy. It's like, what do you want to name it? Upload a picture and some different things. I want to run you through a few key points on how to set this up so that you can do video calls every time. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that it's set up to be an online call and select Zoom, okay? An online call and select Zoom. And then you're going to have a couple more advanced options right here. You're going to have the option to click the duration. This is how long the call will be. Now, keep in mind, the duration of the call doesn't have to match the name of the call. You can call it a 15-minute call, but then give them, 25 minutes of call time. And that gives you some bumper time, right? If like this call does well, you want to stay on that call and close the deal, or at least get them to step 2. You can do that by setting the duration of your call. A better way to do it, and that's setting the intervals of your call, okay? And that's the next option there. The intervals give you this built-in bumper time so that your customers, can't book back to back, right? I could show you, I don't know what slide it is. If you look at my calls today, they're back to back. So I really need to add some interval time into those calls, right? Like, got me, right? There's an error. But you set up a 15-minute call that's set up to last 15 minutes, but then you put in an interval of 15 minutes, and now you have a 30-minute call time. So if your call goes long, you can keep the customer on the phone and close the deal, okay? Lastly, there is a client intake form, and this is really crucial. The client intake form is like a lead generation form. You can set up custom fields and ask your client to fill out these fields before they schedule their call. So for example, when I set up a 15-minute call, I don't want to do a call with just anybody. I want to know, what is your business? I want to know what are your biggest challenges right now? And I want to know, what questions would you ask if you had all the time in the world? And so when that form and that schedule, that appointment gets set, I get an email from Visita that says, hey, Jim Jones set a 15-minute call with you for next Wednesday, and here's the things he wants to talk about. Boom. If I'm doing content interviews, if I want to have someone on my podcast, I create a client intake form that asks your link to your bio. What are 3 things you want to talk about? Is there anything we shouldn't mention? So now when somebody books a spot on my video podcast, I have a link to their headshot and bio. I have 3 big points they want to talk about, and I have their do not mention list. I don't want to talk about the divorce. I don't want to talk about the tax thing, right, or whatever. So I've got all that stuff ahead of time. So those are the 3 big categories I want you to remember, along with one more that didn't make its way in here, and that's prep time. You have another option here called prep time. And I would give yourself 5 minutes to prep, because here's why. I don't know how many times I've been on the road and got like an alert, you have a call in 5 minutes, or like you have a call starting now, right? And it's like, oh, darn. How many of you guys have ever done that? Like, let's face it, it was in your calendar. You knew about it last night. You even like talked to your spouse and you're like, oh yeah, I got that call with Debbie tomorrow. And then you still forgot, right? It happens. That's why I add 5 minutes prep time, because it forces me to get in the mindset for that call, which makes for a more productive call, right? If I'm driving and I forget, which doesn't happen often, but it does happen, it's a stopgap that goes in place. It says, dude, pull over, get out your notes, get your headphones on, and get ready to do this call, right? This happened to me once recently where I'm driving home and I completely forgot about the call that I had to do. I get an alert that says, you got a call right now. I stop and pull over and recognize that Visita gave me 5 minutes of prep time. So I'm pulled over, and now I have 5 minutes to get into the zone. During that 5 minutes, I voiced over my wife in Facebook voice, and I go, give me the lowdown on this client call. She gives me the lowdown right back. I start formulating my pitch. That client did $1,000 with me that day in the car down the street from my house. Can I get an amen? Celebrate with me, folks. Let me hear from you in the chat room. Celebrate.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, not only she's been a great client.
Everyone's loving it.
So, prep time is huge, guys. Prep time is huge. Build that into your calls. All right, once you set all these services up, Vasita is going to give you a link, okay? And you take that link and you put it on your website, and you put it on Facebook. And here's what I did. Whenever I was networking with someone on Messenger or talking with somebody on LinkedIn messages, I go into Vasita and I grab that link and I give it to the person. And I say, like, I don't say no more of this. Hey, do you want to schedule a time? Right? Well, when's good? Tuesday? No, not Tuesday, Thursday. I can't do Thursday. How about Wednesday? How about, you know what? Let's stop all that. You say, hey, great. Let's do 15 minutes. I'm going to send you a link. 1 sec. You grab the link. You give it to the person. They schedule a call. It's all done. It's all done. Okay? Once they schedule the call, here's what it looks like for them. Tell me that does not look super professional. And this is all my Vasita stuff. This stuff I already have. It's stuff you as a Vasita customer already have. This is just a new integration to impress your clients. And then here's what you'll look like on your end. You'll have a calendar event that has a Zoom link. You see that Zoom link? And then when you click on that Zoom link, you're in a place now where you're in a Zoom room just like this, only it's one-to-one with your client where you can chat, you can share links, you can screen share, okay? And you can even invite other people in if that's something that you want to do. Like your client can invite their staff or whatever into the call. Now, I know that was a lot of information, okay? And remember, we're going to give you these slides so you can go back and do this, all right, at any time. By the way, it only takes a minute to do this. I take 20 minutes to explain it because I want you to get it. But now that you're online and you're set up to do video calls, it's time to let your people know. What do you say? Do you say, hey, guys, I'm virtual now? First of all, by the way, by announcing that you have video calls is a great way to get new appointments from qualified prospects today. By announcing, hey, everybody, I just set up a brand new video call. And if you, right, want to discuss your health, your wellness, whatever it is you do, we can do that today and get new appointments today. So Vasita has put in place. I told them not to do this. I said, Rachel, you're giving away too much, right? I'm kidding. I'm doing my salesman pitch. Rachel and Vasita, they made a whole bunch of templates for you to announce this with sensitivity, to announce this with power and with passion. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Rachel to talk about this great new gift. And Rachel, you can just tell me when to switch the slides if you need.
Sure. So Owen, first of all, thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing that personal story. I mean, I'm sitting here getting super emotional, and I see that a lot of people in the comments also wrote that they really appreciate you and how you're so open about it and happy to share it to inspire others. That's really great. And I think it's also, it's great to see you, you're a real winner, and
Thank you.
super, super inspiring. Thank you. And I guess in a way, I mean, everything you said now it makes so much sense, in light of the outbreak of coronavirus. But at the end of the day, now, okay, this is a pandemic of probably once in 100 years, but life is crazy, because the fact that, you're a business owner makes you, I mean, you can still come across so many challenging situations in your personal life, and you kind of always have to hold this game face for your business and kind of, say, no matter what happens, no matter what hits you, it should all be in good health, but, crazy things happen. And you always want to be able to tell your customers, we're all good, business as usual, I'm here for you, I have your services. And I think being digital and basing so much of your business on a digital foundation really helps you do that, especially the automated part of it, having things that are sort of just, it's a no-brainer, it's running in the background, having people, they don't even have to call you, they can just schedule your, block time online. That's a huge, huge benefit for businesses that I consider going online and doing things digital. So if you want to hand over the slides, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how you can let your customers know that you're open for business online, because, you've gone through this whole mental journey saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to go ahead set up my business to be available online, deliver my services online. But you know, people, I mean, most people can't read minds. People aren't going to know that you're there. You know, they're just going to assume like, oh, you know, the whole world's closed. This guy or this woman is probably not, you know, doing her business anymore either. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at how you can. I'm just going to figure out how to control these slides from my end now. And then, do I have the control now, Owen? Sorry, guys.
I don't think so. I think that I probably have to.
You just go ahead, and I'm just going to do the talking, and
yeah, go ahead.
you
I'll
can
be
go
ready.
ahead and control the slides from your end. So basically, as in Visita, I mean, online scheduling is a big part of our core offering, but Visita is actually an end-to-end platform for small businesses. So our goal is actually to create an app that gives you everything. It's not just about the online scheduling. It's about, you know, collecting payments, sending invoices, generating estimates. It's about having a CRM where you have a client card for each client and you can access their client information from your phone, from your laptop, anytime and anywhere. It's about marketing, being able to communicate with customers. And now more than ever is a super important time to just continue that relationship with people. Even if you can't even do business, if you can't deliver your services, find a way to stay in touch with the people you work with, because this is probably your business's biggest asset. The people you work with, those relationships you've built and nurtured over years and years. Don't let this downtime get in the way of those relationships. So what we're going to look at now is the marketing area of Visita. There's an area under marketing. There's an area called announcements. This is where you can send an email, but instead of just sending it to the one person, you can send it to an entire group of customers. If you click on new announcements, which is highlighted right now, you'll get to the next screen, which is a template library. So these are all templates that were created by professional marketers. If we can just take a look at that next screen, you'll see what I'm talking about. These are all templates that were professionally written and designed by our marketing team. So these are just ideas for different messages you can use to communicate with your customers. Right now in the featured area, there's obviously a couple of ideas for things you can communicate around the outbreak. If you scroll further down, you'll see different things, you know, Happy Father's Day, or, you know, whatever. It's Bring Your Dog to Work Week, or anything that really just gives you a reason for creating some sort of interaction. So this part of the product is also usually available only to some of our premium plans. Some of you guys that might have the business or a platinum subscription are probably used to seeing this. But again, we know what's happening in the world. We are committed to your business's success, and we want to do whatever we can to support you during these times. So as of today, the announcement area, the email announcement area, is open to all Visita users on any plan, free of charge. For this period of time, you guys can go ahead. I'm telling you, use this area of the product. It is so important for you guys to be able to reach out, communicate with your customers. If you can't really think of a good reason to get in touch with them, have a look at this template library, get some inspiration. Now, right now, we're going to look at the template that's actually built to help you give notice and let people know that you are available for delivering services online. So this is a blurb we wrote up. You can go ahead and use it. You can edit it. This is actually the editor we're looking at. So you can completely change this. You can change the text. You can add some of your own personal stuff here. You can add a picture, change the picture. You can add a link. Right now, it's going to link your customer to that screen that Owen showed you before. This is where a customer can go ahead and use the button in this email to book their next meeting with you. And then once you're done, you know, editing, you have to click on the done button that's highlighted up there. And then the next screen you'll see will show you all your announcements. And then all you have to do is click send, and it's basically on its way. So this, again, I just want to repeat it again in case some of you guys didn't hear. I know maybe some of you have been on some that aren't on the business or platinum plans aren't used to seeing this area because it's been locked. If you log into your Visita account today, you should be able to see this. You should be able to use this. Again, completely free of charge. And if you need any help setting it up, you're not sure where to find it, or, you know, not really 100% sure how it works, you know how to contact their support team. Get in touch with them. They are here to help you, and they can walk you through this step-by-step easy. And as Owen mentioned before, we are definitely going to share this presentation with you. It'll be in your inbox tomorrow, and we'll make sure to maybe send you a link to some articles that can help you do this as well. So that was how to share the news with your customers. I think we don't have much time left, but let's use the time that we do have to answer some of the great questions we got during the session. I see there's quite a few. I'm not really 100% sure we're going to reach all of them, but let's start. And then, you know, I'm going to go ahead and download these questions. If there's anything we don't get to during the live broadcast, we'll make sure to answer you guys via email once we're done.
Can I start jumping through some of these questions? Is that okay with you, Rachel? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
So John Benson is asking how much for all the equipment, and please be realistic. The camera is about $60. The mic is about $80. That's $140, and that's what I'm suggesting that you go with. This little guy right here, this little mic flag here was $50. This mic arm here, it's a custom mic arm, was another $20. A camera light is going to run you $60. So, you know, that's real. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Now, prices are going to go up and down, and you can always find something cheaper, but that's realistically what you're working on. Mava Bowden is saying, can you please give us name of app to start to teach online? I would use Zoom. Use the Zoom integration with Visita. This is what is so powerful about Zoom, is that if you can do a video call, you can do a Facebook Live show. If you can do a video call with Zoom, you can do a YouTube channel, okay? And this is what I do, right? I take people that are great with business and they're great with their life, but they don't know how to do YouTube. And we turn them into YouTube stars. Zoom and other screen saving or screen sharing services accomplish that, right? So when you start to talk about like to teach online, you can do it. There's 1,000 different apps that you can pay for. You already have Visita. Use Visita and Zoom to record your sessions, keep those sessions on Dropbox, and you know, when people pay you, you can give them access to the Dropbox, right? You don't need complicated. You can, right? There's all sorts of different websites, but you only need Visita and with the Zoom integration to build out even online courses now. So anonymous attendee is saying, how do you start with a live video or a video to post online? Well, you start with the Visita integration here. You schedule yourself an appointment that has a Zoom link. You record the call, and then you upload that call to Facebook or to YouTube. You upload the recording to Facebook or to YouTube. Zoom does have an integration with Facebook to stream live. And once you get into Zoom, you can set that up. It's very, very easy to do. I'm reading Joseph's. Joseph and Rachel, just cut me off if you need to. I'm Joseph. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm starting a lawn care maintenance business, Air 5 to you, and it's difficult to provide this business online. What is the best approach to advertise that business online? First of all, Joseph, there's never been a better time for your business. Nobody, like, you don't need to be around a group to do your job. So this is a perfect time, right, to start promoting your business. The biggest thing that you can do is start to tell people that you're online. So here is my advice to you. Somebody please record this, because this is going to be really good. If I were you, I would schedule yourself a weekly recurring appointment with Visita to stream on Zoom. And you're going to stream that Zoom on Facebook Live. And what I would do is I would go live once a week on Facebook Live through your Zoom account and share with people what you do and how you do it. Prepare a PowerPoint, right? And every week you go live and you talk about, here's what I do. Can I answer any questions for you? Leave them in the comment section below. You're not going to get a ton of people. First of all, by the way, that's brilliant. I'm sorry to float my own boat here, but this is how you use Visita to grow your business. You schedule yourself appointments, you go live on Zoom, and then you stream it out to Facebook Live. That's what I would do if I were you. Half the trick right now, guys, is just letting people know that you're available, that you're not closed, right? That you're still working. Okay. Karima is saying, tell us about lighting. Buy a ring light. That's all you need to do. Then you're going to need to figure out where to put it. You know, just put it in a place where it looks good. Okay. If you can sit in front of a window, like right now in front of me is like 10 more feet of room, right? And there's not enough windows in here. So I can't go in front of a window. So I have a ring light. if you have a window, you can set your desk up right in front of the window so that you're looking out the window. You put the webcam on the computer looking at you, and now you have all the daylight of a window illuminating your face and eliminating age lines. So in fact, my studio actually has too many lights on. Alexa, garage lights off. And of course, it doesn't work for the world. How embarrassing. I get glare on my increasing forehead size. And so I have an Alexa alert to turn these lights off. I'll fix it in a second. Caroline Wolf is saying, I assume the equipment is available in London, UK too. I would think so. This is not like undercover gear. You know, these are major international brands.
Yeah, Visita is available anywhere from the world. I see a bunch of people asked about languages. There are many languages supported by Visita. That shouldn't be a problem either. I see a lot of questions here about Visita. We're definitely not going to be able to get to all these guys, but don't you worry. We will have someone reply to each and every one of you via email. I see a couple of people asking about being HIPAA compliant. So I guess those of you who come from the medical or healthcare sector, or maybe some of you from legal, need a platform that is HIPAA compliant, that is, you know, you're bound to different types of regulations. So yes, Visita is HIPAA compliant. You're going to need either the business or platinum subscription, and you can get the BAA that you might need. And then Zoom is also, I'm not sure all of their programs, I'm not sure about the free one, but I know Zoom does have a solution that is HIPAA compliant for businesses just like you. So that's definitely not something that should get in your way.
I got a question here about, would you advise to publish prices? Would you advise to publish prices? I do not. In fact, I just do free calls, and then they pay, and then I do fulfillment calls. So, you know, I wouldn't leave it up to like, your customer shouldn't click on a link and then find out they have to pay, right? Like, the price, in my estimate, should have already been discussed, and you send them to the link when they're ready to buy. So I don't necessarily publish the prices, but I let them know, hey, it's going to cost you $97 for the consultation. Do you want to do it? And I send them the link where they can buy it. Rachel, what are your thoughts on that?
So they're different. I guess it really depends on your business model and what type of services you provide. Because I know we have a lot of like yoga instructors and you know, gym trainers that use Visita to schedule their sessions. And there, you know, you already have a relationship with the person you're working with. They know how much you charge. You know, they know that they're going to pay you anyway. So to make their life easier, you could, in theory, add not only a price but also an option to pay while the customer was making the booking. So you get it out of the way. You know, they can pay online with a credit card or with PayPal as they're booking their appointments, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. You know, that awkward conversation that you have at the end of the session, like, oh, you know, okay, it's time to pay me. You can brush that off the table. And then even if you do decide to you know, let the person pay you after, we also have these text reminders that are, I mean, when I was a business owner, I used to use something like this all the time. It's just, you never have to have another awkward conversation about payments. You have these automated estimate text messages that just go out, remind people that they, you know, owe you money.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. And a lot more questions there about Visita, but I think a lot of the tech questions were sort of answered there. And if you folks want to continue this journey, learning more about video and live streaming and integrative type services, follow me on my Instagram. I put the link to my Instagram in the chat area, or just go to your app and search for Owen Video. I would love for you to join the conversation there. And if you comment video on any one of my posts, I'll add you to my Instagram chat group, and you can ask questions and get a little bit more help. I post a lot of my YouTube videos there. So I would love for you to stay in touch, and let's get through this together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Owen. I see one more question that I'm going to address real quick because I think a few people asked this. What happens if you have a couple of team members? Because Visita has some plans that are good for teams, so like teams of 10 or 20. So actually, when we were working on the Zoom integration, this is something that the team pulled together in a matter of days, and they did come across a bit of a problem with applying the Zoom integration for teams. So that's something they're still working on. I really hope we will be able to announce it soon. As of now, we can only support a single user. It was just a matter of, we can either not launch it at all and just wait for us to develop the whole thing that includes the teams, or just go ahead, launch it, put it out there for the people that can use it as a single user, and hopefully the team subscriptions will be available in a short time soon. Again, I'm so sorry we don't have time to answer all these questions, but don't you guys worry, someone will answer your questions via email. That's really pretty much all for today. I do want to launch a quick poll question that'll help us understand how we can continue doing these webinars better and what type of content you guys want to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and launch those right now.
Yeah, can I jump in with something real fast?
Absolutely, always.
Terry is asking, I work with massage therapists and chiropractors. How does this help them? Look, Terry, I understand the heart of that question because they're hands-on people, right? And their businesses are closed. So look, I don't know the laws that govern the town that you're in, but what we are advising our physical fitness and massage therapist clients to do is two different things. Number one, now is the time for them to be holding Zoom conference calls, Zoom webinars, and sharing information through the Zoom platform. My daughter just did a Zoom dance class where her dance teachers did a Zoom thing and we got to log in. It was all live, right? Your chiropractors should be teaching and staying in contact. First of all, that's one thing that they could be doing. Number two is you should be using Visita to set in-home appointments. Okay, my chiropractor, we're in California, and my chiropractor is open. We went to the chiropractor yesterday, and you want to know how we did that? By setting an appointment in his calendar. Okay, so this is not a bad time for hands-on business workers, okay? If we look at it like a problem, it'll be a problem. Let's look for the solutions. They need to be setting one-to-one. Can your chiropractor do in-home adjustments? Maybe that's a thing. Or maybe because people got to stay 6 feet apart, maybe they can come into his building according to appointment times, right? One at a time. So there's lots that you could do. It's at your fingertips. Stay in touch, Terry. We can get you through this.
Yeah. I also want to, just in case you guys didn't notice, Visita offers a free trial. So you guys can start a free trial. You'll have 2 weeks to get your system, up and running, take a look at the different features, understand what works for you, where you need some extra help. We also have a product specialist team that basically all they do every single day is talk to small businesses just like you, help them understand how Visita can bring value to their business and kind of point them in the right directions if they need a little bit help. Maybe we can give you like a private tour of Visita, a personal demo. That's what these guys do. They love their job. So go ahead and feel free to schedule a free demo with them. Or, if you're ready to fly solo, just go ahead, start your 14-day free trial, and, we'll take it from there. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. As I mentioned before, we will definitely be answering your questions that were asked throughout the webinar. If you're here anonymously, please try to give us your email address just so we know who we need to answer. And again, the recording will be sent via email. You should have it in your inbox tomorrow. And then if you have any additional questions or comments, or, you want to talk to someone, feel free to just reply to that email, and whoever sees it will definitely respond within a couple of days.
Great.
Fantastic. So Owen, thank you so much for joining us today. This is great stuff. I mean, digital transformation, it's always a thing. It's always good to be thinking about how you can do more things online, but now more than ever, businesses really need concrete solutions that can help them shift their business from offline to online, not let, the world outbreak of coronavirus get in the way of their business, continue doing what they love doing, what makes them proud, what makes them special. And thanks again for sharing your inspiring story. That makes a really big difference.
My pleasure. Glad to be here. And if you guys want to do this again, if you want me back, email Rachel and say, bring Owen back. And we'll do that. And thanks everybody for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we should just be hearing good news. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care. Thank you so much. People are writing, bring back Owen. They didn't even wait for the webinar to be over.
Screenshot.
Thanks, guys. Take care. We'll be in touch soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.